Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be creating a login system for the register system we created in the previous tutorial number 3. What we did was we created a form. You type a username, password, repeat password, email, and repeat email, and it saves it into a MySQL database. So for me to get to it, I go to localhost/php myadmin, and after it loads, I come over here and I click tutorials. This is the database name, and I click users, and then I have ID, username, password, email, date, and posts. What we're going to do right now is we're going to add a new row. So click on structure up here on your PHP myadmin, where my cursor is, and click add one fields at the end of table, and click go. Okay, so now that we have this form up, we're going to create a new field, and the field name will be session ID. So I'll just put SESSID, SESSID, and the type is going to be text, and we can just put length and value is 23. Although I don't think it'll do anything since the type is text. But what we're doing this for is so when the user logs in and they create a session or a cookie, um, it'll create a unique session ID or cookie ID, and every time the user comes to this site, if that cookie or session isn't set, it will make them relog in just for security purposes, so people can't just change their session or their cookie to someone else's username, and edit their profile or make posts under their name. So I'm going to click save, and there we go. So now I can click browse, and I shouldn't have perfect success ID. Okay, so now we're going to create the login form. It still says your home because we haven't created that form yet. So we're going to come to class underscore account and create it now. So where we have function create form, we can just come back here, and after this if form type equals register and the end bracket, we can just do else if form type equal login. Then we can basically just copy and paste the form that we got from here. So that's what I'm going to do. I just pasted it in, and I'm going to take out a few rows like repeat email and repeat password. So you should be left with username and password. And that looks about right. So we're going to change the input type equals submit value to submit or to login, and also the name to login. And make sure we change the form name too to login. And I'm going to save this and come back to our index.php, and where we have else if place equal home and stuff, I'm going to add another else if, so I'm going to type else if code equal 01 for login, and act equal login, and then that's about it. I'm also going to add this. I'm just copying and pasting. Instead of if post register, we'll do if post login, and then we'll change create form register to create form login. And instead of add user, we're gonna log in user. And I'm just gonna delete email, repeat email, and so you should have if post login, then account login user with the parameters post username and post password. Else, we're going to create the login form. So we haven't created this login user function yet, which we're going to do right now. So come back to your class account, and at the end, after your last function, come create a new function called login user. Oops, function login user. And the parameters we need is going to be username and password. Okay, so in here, we're gonna be, logging in the user. So basically, for the most part, we can copy the add user function. I'm copying the username and password, so we can MD5 or not MD5. Use the MySQL real escape stuff and strip tags and all that good stuff. And now I'm gonna do password equals MD5 password, just so we have an MD5 now. And now we're also going to come up here and we're going to do the select all from users. And I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it right here. But first I'm going to do if username and password. And I'm going to put the MD5 in this. And I'm going to add an else. So this means that the form isn't completely filled out. So I'm just going to copy one of these. You must fill the form out completely for the else. I'm going to paste it right here on line 109. And I'm going to change create form to login. And the form is completed for the most part. So next, we are going to actually make them log in and verify that it's their username and password. And to do this, we're just gonna do what we did on the register. Basically, we're gonna use res. So I'm gonna scroll up and I'm gonna get res2 right here. Copy that and bring it back down here. So we do select all from users where username equals username. And so now I'm going to do a query if res2, MySQL, if MySQL num rows res2. And then that means it's in the database, so we can continue. Otherwise, we're going to do an else, and we're going to copy this, paste it, and say the user entered does not exist. I'm actually going to change that to username entered. And also I did notice something. In this create form right here, we can get rid of email and email too, and also on here. So I'm going to save this and we'll test it. I'm going to click login. Okay, I'm going to type in Andrew. Actually, I'm going to type in something that doesn't exist. I'm going to do that. Click login. Username entered does not exist. Perfect. And now I'm just going to leave password blank. And US fill forms completely. Okay, now I'm going to type in my actual username and just a random password. And now it doesn't show anything. Perfect. So now I'm going to come back to PHP Designer. And so now the user does exist. So now I'm going to do row equals MySQL fetch assoc res2, because that's what our query is named. And then, oops, we don't need those brackets. Sorry about that. So now I'm going to do if row2 password equal password. So now it's going to check to see if our passwords match. And if they do, it'll be right here. And if they don't, it'll be in the else. So I'm going to copy this again, paste it into the else, and we'll type the password. Password entered does not match our records. I'm going to save this, and then we're going to also add something into the form. So where we have form type equals login, we're going to modify form, and we're going to add a new table row and a new table data. So you can just copy the password one, and I'm going to type remember me. And this is going to be input type checkbox, and name is going to be remember. And then in function login user, we're going to add a new parameter, and it's going to be called remember. And we're going to come to index.php, and where we have login user, add a comma, post remember. And now, for now, we're just going to echo remember. Oops. We're going to echo remember. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but. And I'm just going to see what it's going to output. Type in my name. Password entered does not match. You know, I'm not sure what password I used once. Okay, so yeah, the password was right. It was just something I messed up here. I had if row 2 password. We need to change it to if row password. My fault. I'm going to save that. I'm come back. I'm going to refresh. And on. Okay, so default value is on when it's actually checked. So now we're going to do if, right here, if remember equal on cookie logging in. I'm putting that as some so we can remember. Session logging in. A session is basically for whenever you open your browser to whenever you close your browser. That's a session. So you'll have to relog in every time you do that. Cookie is where it's for a specified time. For us, I'm gonna do 1 month. You can change it to whatever you want. I'm sorry. And yeah. So first we're gonna do a cookie. Actually, we're gonna do a session because just so we don't have to log in yet. So to do a session, first we're going to have to come to index.php, and we're going to start a session in the front. So session start, and I'm putting that on line 5 right when I open my PHP tag, and I'm going to save that. I'm going to come back here, and we're going to do session username equals username, easy as that. And then we're going to create a unique session ID for the user while they're logged in. So to do this, I'm going to do session ses ID, and that's going to be equal to uniq ID rand rand, and then the second parameter is going to be true. And what unique is basically it creates something random. So it's going to use a random number, and true is going to set it to how many characters. So true is going to make it 23 characters, and that's why earlier in the tutorial when we created the database row, we made the limit 23 characters. So now we're going to put that into use. And actually, what I'm going to do is, for this unique rand, I'm just going to copy it. I copied and deleted. And I'm going to put it before the if remember. And I'm going to do ses ID equals that. Just so I don't have to do it twice and get 2 random IDs. And we're also going to do res3 equals MySQL query insert into, or actually, sorry, update users set ses ID equals ses ID where username equals username. Easy as that.